Back again, another episode, shooting the shit. My man Lane, what's happening, Lane?
Hey, what's going on? A lot's going on.
Yeah, I know, right? So I guess we can start. You can go shy away from basketball for a minute and start with probably the most important Thursday in your life. Yesterday with the parade and everything going on. It was touching on a little bit. So first question I'm gonna ask you, let's back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday night, how did this Sunday night play out for you when you was watching the game? I'll get you.
Well, of course, it was me, the wife, the kids. They stayed up, and I pretty much stood the whole game. I couldn't really sit, and I barely ate. I couldn't even finish my dinner. I pretty much waited till after to eat. So it was just. I don't know. It couldn't have gone any better than planned. Actually, went better than I could have imagined. With they just came out firing, and it's like you got to come out firing against that Patriots team.
Yeah.
You can't play it safe. You gotta come out and punch them in the mouth. So yeah, the way that thing started, I mean, it was just a nice little back and forth. Every time that they would go back and forth, I had no doubt that they would score again. But nobody could have predicted the ending like that, though, man. It was just perfect. It was just a perfect day. It's a perfect day.
What was the first feeling that popped in your head when Brandon Graham stripped Brady?
Oh, the first thing that popped in my head was, oh shoot, we're about to actually win this game. Like when he stripped him and we got to recover the fumble. I'm like, oh, like that's it. Like this is about to clinch. Now the next thing I was thinking is like, all you got to do is run the ball, and get one first down. Now that didn't happen, but still, you could just tell they were about to ice that thing. I'm like, this is game right here. Like it was. And then once we got the field goal to put it to 8, I'm like, even though you can tie it up with a 2-point conversion, I'm like, nah, they don't have any time left. We're gonna do this thing. Like it finally sunk in. Like we're actually about to do this, and kind of had that same feeling when the Phillies were about to win 2008. Yeah. They got down to the last out. They were getting down to the last 3 outs. And when they got down to the last out, my heart was just like pounding. Like they about to do this thing. So when Brandon Graham got that sack, it was like that same feeling. Like wow, they're actually about to clinch, but obviously bigger because. It's the Eagles. So,
yeah,
like, man, this was like, it's still setting in. Like, it's almost a week later and it's still setting in.
Yeah. So when that last gasp from the Patriots with that Hail Mary by Brady when the ball was in the air, like how anxious were you?
Man, I was like it looked like he was about to get sacked and he broke away, and that was like the longest. It felt like that throw hung in the air for like 20 seconds. That was like the longest throw. That was like the longest wait for a pass to come down. And there was so much traffic in the end zone and, blending in with that dark end zone.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite really see what was happening. So it's like, oh man, did Gronk catch this thing or what? And even when the ball hit the ground, I also fixated on just making sure it was incomplete. I didn't even realize the time hit all zeros. Like I'm seeing the ref wave incomplete. And even some of the players out there noticed. So then it was like, oh, that's game. Like it was like a delayed reaction. Like, oh, and it was like, of course, they had to go down to the wire. Some people were like, oh, we should have blown them out, and I'm like, nah, that's for everything we've gone through, it had to happen that way, going down to like the last minute. It just made for good suspense.
Hey, tell you it was crazy. Like on my end, since I don't got cable now, so I do everything, stream everything.
Yeah.
So it was like a play delayed. So like that fourth quarter for me, like I wouldn't, like I'm watching it, but before something would happen, like I hear my neighbors next door screaming and like banging on the walls or whatever. So something must have happened. So when watching it, when the Patriots had the ball, then it was like, okay. I hear all this bang, like boom, 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 like yeah. Like something must have happened. He must have like turned the ball over.
Okay.
Something will happen. Something like shoot, like I try to like turn off like the Hulu and start it back over, try to see if I could catch up, like try to refresh and everything. So it was like, so I can. With me, it was either way. Like I mean, I'm watching it just because A, the kids want to watch it, and right. B, I just want to just sit like everything with me was like the fly on the wall. So again, so like when the same thing with the Hail Mary at the end, like people were already out on the street, already banging, screaming, hey, yeah. It's like it must be over. And then I see when it hit, like we said, all zeros hit. Like, oh yeah, okay, this is how it happened, whatever. So everything with me was all delayed.
Okay.
But you know, living up where I'm at, man, it was. I don't know how long people were out in the street, man. Like I can hear everything. I'm trying to wind down, go to bed and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're like ground zero, man.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. But so then like fast forward to yesterday. So me and my logic, or at least in my mind, that's some logic to me. Like, oh, it's crowded, but now I mean I run into somebody I know. So you know I catch a train now. You know what I mean? Get off the train, walk, and I probably come around City Hall. I like, oh, like it's not what I thought it was going to be. It was like crazy. They were playing the Cupid Shuffle. People stay on top of on a trash truck doing the Cupid Shuffle. It was like craziness, man. And I'm walking, weaving through the crowd like we had back at Temple at a sweatbox party, trying to make it through the crowd or whatever. You know what I mean? So at least I had that expertise, you know what I mean, in my holster.
Yeah. Being able to slide through. Yeah, that thing was packed like I mean, I was saying to my Lisa yesterday, like, you know, been down there for different things like July 4th. Of course, I was there for the draft. Like,
yeah.
Even when we went to Live 8, it wasn't even close to being as packed as it was yesterday.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing like grown men in tears, man. Like, yo, this is
I just right before we got started, I saw a clip online and they showed Jim Cramer, the money guy. And
yeah.
there's a clip of him. He was actually at US Bank Stadium and he was just balling, man. I mean, he was balling. You know, 50, 60-year-old man. I mean, he was balling. I'm like, I understand, man. You figure, you know, 1960, you know, he was probably a young lad the last time they won one. So the wait's been even longer for somebody like him. Like it was just, I feel him, man. Anybody that let it out, I can understand. This is
because
like,
I eventually made my way like close towards the art museum. It was like I looked to my right and I saw the dude like just balling, man. Like he was getting consoled and everything. I'm like, yo, like is he like this like drunk? It's like a drunk, like a, you know what I mean? Is it the adrenaline? Like what is it?
Right.
But then I realized, like, no, like he's really, really crying, man. So I was like, but it's like that's for me, like, even though I'm not an Eagles fan or whatever, you know what I mean? And I kind of already experienced it with, you know, in Baltimore 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I just be on the outside, just be like that fly on the wall, just kind of looking at everybody and saying how happy everybody was. And like, it was none of that dark cloud and nothing that people said like over the city. It was like, it was like crazy to witness.
Yeah.
Hear your boy Jason Kelsey go off, man, with that speech, man. That was hilarious.
About that, so I'm like, he reminded me of it was like the throwback WWF.
Yo, that's the same thing.
From the glory days of wrestling, when I used to like watch it with my brother, and you know, it seemed like it was real. Like he was on that level of, you know, let me tell you something, Tony Schiavone, like Mean Gene Okerlund,
Mean Gene.
Yeah, like he went in, like he channeled, and then of course he looked like Cactus Jack, so he channeled the best of the best from, you know, NWA, WWF, you know, at a football event. It just fit perfectly too, especially with the costume. Like I mean, he went in with that.
Yo, it was hilarious, man. And then, like the irony of all ironies, like the theme song is you know, the Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares intro, man.
Yeah.
And it's kept playing it, and I'm like I'm like looking around because everybody was really comfortable singing the song or whatever.
Very.
Yeah. I'm like looking around, like waiting, thinking like, okay, I'm like just waiting, trying to wait for somebody to drop. But then had to like take a step back and realize like, A, I don't want to poop in nobody's cereal. Everybody having a good time, and B, like I'm severely out. So somebody try like, yo, don't do that.
Right.
Like I'm outnumbered. So yeah,
overruled, man. Overruled.
Yeah.
The funny thing, because I almost missed the kickoff because for some reason I thought the game was starting at 6:40.
Yeah.
So it got to be 6:30, and I said, all right, let me turn on the TV. They're gonna do the introductions, national anthem, whatever. Patriots are teeing off about the kick, so I'm like, I almost missed the kickoff. So I went online because I had my Twitter running pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
They had posted the intros, so then I see them running out to the Super Bowl introductions with Meek Mill in the background, and I'm like, this is nothing that I would ever have predicted. You had ever asked me on a national stage, and they pick a Meek Mill song, and everybody's just fired up, and I'm like, this is something else, man. This is something else.
Yeah, because I seen them cause I saw a clip like you said on Twitter or whatever. I think it was the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, they've been warming up to it during the season and in the playoffs.
I didn't know they was gonna really do it. They said they was gonna do it, but they really did.
Oh, they said they were gonna? I didn't know they planned it. I didn't know they said they were going to. Because I don't know the song. Like I've heard, I'm familiar with him. I've heard the name Dreams and Nightmares, and I heard in the background them playing his song at warm-ups at different parts of the season, but I never I don't know the songs. I didn't know what it really sounded like. So when they came out running to it, I was like, yo, this is like the blackest thing you could do.
Yeah, man.
And then they show Patriots come out to that Ozzy Osbourne song.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect juxtaposition of the two teams.
Yo, why when the Patriots got announced, yo? On the pop in my head, it was gonna come out too. Was this Raining Men by the Village People? Yeah, but not the Village. By the what was it? What was the group called?
I know you talk about. I don't know their name. I know you talk.
The Weather Sisters or something like that. I forget that name, man.
That would have been something too. But yeah, it was just like two totally opposite cultures coming out. One the Meek Mill, one the Ozzy Osbourne, and it was just perfect. Like the whole day was just.
Yeah,
I could watch the highlights and for 100 times I won't get tired of it, man.
Man.
It's just when. But
it was crazy, and I'm just reflecting back and comparing and contrasting. Like I said, when the Ravens won it back in 2012 or 2013, when it happened, it was that was a bit. Now I was in a stadium or whatever because they ended up at the stadium the same way the Eagles ended up at the Art Museum.
Mm-hmm.
So it was everybody was it was cold the same way because it's February.
Yeah,
same way it was crowded. Everybody was kind of happy, but it was an edge, like a tension there too. It just felt, you know what I mean? Just kind of comparing it to the whole here, it was just everybody just happy. It was love everywhere, the city of brotherly love for real. The first time since I've been there.
Well, that's what I was about to say. The 2001 championship, I imagine probably had a different feel because it's the first one versus 2012.
Yeah, probably. But again, I didn't know that because we were still in school. Now we watched the game in school, whatever. So I ain't
right.
Take home that.
Yeah.
But it was a different energy because I think back then people didn't kind of expect it, and wasn't many people rooting for the team back then like they were when they won it 5 years ago. So it's the city was really behind the team by that time.
That's true.
The Ravens officially the city's team.
Yeah. Which
kind of leads me to something else once we finish talking about that. So I said, it felt like a tension in the air. And then when I see the clips, when the parade was coming through, the same way how the parade came through here, the police eventually opening gates, people walked in the street and walked down the parkway, but it wasn't rowdy or nothing like that. It was everybody just kind of excited, blah, blah, blah. Even some random dude just came up to me, whoa, we did it. We're world champs. Random dude or whatever came up to me. All I could do was give him a five. I didn't know how to react. I was yeah, okay, yeah. But it was you felt the energy, you felt the positive energy. Like I said, 5 years ago back in Baltimore, it was everybody was like aggressive. It was aggression.
Yeah.
And then like the stadium got super packed.
Yeah.
Like, it was like so packed, like even like the steps, like the seats were packed, like the steps were packed. And then like they had eventually they closed the gate to the stadium, but people started scaling the gate to get into the stadium. But the cops weren't doing nothing to stop none of that stuff. They weren't stopping people getting in the street, stop people getting in the stadium. It was like everything was like aggressive. It was still kind of joyous overall. It was a tension, which now when I look back and think back at it, it's not surprising that the Freddie Gray riots eventually happened. Because the city's probably been on edge for so long, and it probably just needed something. It only took one thing, like the match, like the spark.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, it is definitely off the hook down here. So
yeah, just trying interesting, like kind of comparing it to and just like saying it. But either way, it was still like, you know what I mean, to be a part of both, experience both, is probably like one of the things I'll probably never forget. But then that kind of transitioned me to like thinking like, why it seemed like of all the sports, all the leagues, like the NFL championships like tend to hold like more weight like any other sport in any given city.
Yeah.
You like Philly, they got all major sports. You got the Flyers, got the Eagles, got the Sixers, got the Phillies. Like you said, the Phillies just won it 10 years ago.
Right.
And it was crazy. But it's like, to me, like outside looking in, like after they won in 08, once 09 hit, it was like it didn't even happen.
Right.
But that's how much weight it seemed like, you know, the Eagles championship, you know, happened in the city. And then you just seeing when they eventually won it, like how all the emotions, everything came out.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's you know, Philadelphia is known for its rich basketball history, you know, high school, college, and of course the pros. And of course you got your baseball, but it's like I kind of had this slogan I've been saying the last couple of years, even before this whole protest thing. NFL is king. Like out of the four majors, pro football carries the most weight. It has the biggest following and the most rabid fans. And it's just, I don't know. I think because maybe there's so few games, it's so significant, you know, 16 games, every game counts. Whereas, you know, basketball and hockey both have 82 games. So if you go on a skid for 2 or 3 games, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, if you lose 8 games, that's 10% of your schedule. But it's like in the NFL, 1 or 2 games can make or break your season. And it's just so important every week. And it's like, I think it's because you only get a small little bit of it. It's on for 4 months. It's only once a week. So it's like, it just creates this following and this hunger because it's just once a week. You know, basketball, hockey, it's pretty much every other day. At one point, they're doing it every day. Baseball with 162 games, they playing almost every day, and it's just different. Football, you know, action packed. And it's just something about it that taps into people's emotions, especially here. You know, when you figure a city that hasn't won one in 50 something years, that really just added to the whole appetite for this thing. You know, like if the Sixers were to win in a year or two, it's going to be hype, but nothing would transcend the football championship. It just wouldn't.
Yeah, because like I'm just like kind of comparing like when the Cavs won 2 years ago. Like that's the only thing I could like actually I said visually I can compare to how it was yesterday.
Yeah, that makes sense because there was definitely, you know, pretty winless town. Actually, if you combine the 4 majors, they were even more, you know, winless. You know, because the Indians hadn't won nothing in, you know, even longer. So yeah, the Cavs one was significant because one, it's Cleveland. You know, the Browns are horrible, and of course overcoming that 3-1 deficit made it even that much sweeter, you know, for them. So kind of like us, you know, we went to 4 straight in championship games and lost, you know, 3 of them, lost the Super Bowl. So it was like, and then you got the other 3 divisional teams that have all had at least some Super Bowl success at one point or another. So you're like that last child in the family, you know, you're that last person in the family that, you know, has yet to, you know, get your first pair of Jordans or whatever you want to say. It's like everyone's laughing at you until you finally get it, and then you finally come up. So it was like that finally feel to it.
You like that kid that got kicked out of school, went to jail. You know what I mean? Got out. You know what I mean? Finally got himself together. Now he got a good job. You know what I mean? Everybody's proud of him. I know Calvin got that shot. Bro, it's like crazy. Like I wonder how it is like in New York. Like that's kind of what I wish Heck was here because they got like 2 teams in every major sport.
Yeah, I think they're a little spoiled with that. It's saturated. Like, not that they pick both, but it's like from the outside looking in, you're like, well, if the Yankees lose, you got the Mets. If the Islanders lose, you got the Rangers, etc. But typically, it seems like New Yorkers do pick one or the other. Like you're either Jets, Mets, you're either Yankees, Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, or Rangers, Islanders. And, even with this whole Brooklyn Nets thing, that don't count because everybody's a Knicks fan. So
like the Knicks is like the only thing that really like it's like a consensus on. But to me, like it's like it's a little bandwagon jumping forth, like depending on who's hot. Like the Giants are hot, everybody Giants fan. The Jets are hot, then everybody Jets fans. The Yankees and Mets. I mean the Yankees are the Yankees, but as soon as the Mets start smelling themselves and pretty good, that's why everybody all of a sudden Mets fans.
Yeah, I think that city is so big. Like they don't really seem to have that excitement for their teams the way other towns do because it's like there's just enough going on in New York outside of sports that it's like, oh yeah, we won by the way, moving on. Like I don't think they had that excite. I mean, it's obviously me saying it, but like when the Giants won, I can't imagine they had that type of excitement the way that we had it here. So
yeah, man, this is just another thing for New Yorkers to annoy us with, to go along with that. Everything else that got going on. But it's neither here nor there. We don't have a native New Yorker defend themselves. But but even the way they would have said something arrogant, it pisses off anyway. So
yeah, it's the New York way.
So I guess that's probably a good way to kind of transition to like what else happened yesterday with the NBA trade deadline. So, like, getting home for everything, like you said, like kind of scrolling through it and see what happened, man. I don't even know what to say. It was crazy.
Yeah, it reminded me of like if you were watching like a crazy game and maybe you stepped out to go get something to eat or went to the bathroom and then you came back like, dang, what I missed? That's how I felt yesterday on Twitter. Like I went on and it was like, Cleveland just dealt, and it just listed the whole team. I'm like, they pretty much just like at the end of the game when the coach just like substitutes the whole bench because it's garbage time. Like they pretty much just traded the whole team away. But it's kind of odd because on the one hand, it's almost like they made some trades for the future to show Bron, like, look, we are looking for the future. But on the other hand, it's like they were rebuilding for in case he leaves. So it was kind of odd. It's like, is it a rebuild? Is this their way to convince him? He ain't staying, but they actually did get some value back in return.
Yeah, I think you're right with both, man. I think that's what they had to do. Like because he's not gonna give no commitment. So you got to plan for if he's not gonna be here. That's why they were so intent to hold on to the Brooklyn pick.
Yeah.
And then you had to get some people that can help you now. And it just so happened that the cats that help you now are kind of young, like with Rodney Hood, he's 25, Larry Nance Jr., I think he's like 20, something like that.
Yeah,
I say Jordan Clarkson, three of them 25.
Yeah.
So you got some young dudes ain't selling contract. At least Rodney Hood, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. So you control his rights basically for the next 4 years if you try to resign him. And then you bring in the George Hill. He's under contract, but I think that the final year of his contract is only guaranteed like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually you better get the money off get him out your books, and he can help you now. And then like the biggest thing, man, like there's no way you can see it coming, but you knew something was coming if you would have watched the game when they played Minnesota.
Okay.
And Bron hit that shot. We started celebrating.
Yeah.
in IT, like the little brother, whatever, wanted to hang out with his big brother, and LeBron was paying him no attention. Like he all LeBron all jumping in the air, he all chest bump, I forgot he chest bump. And IT was like patting him on the side, like he wanted to get in, hit me, give me a high five, LeBron was paying him no attention. That should have been like the sign right there. Like, oh boy, he ain't gonna be here that much longer. And Sean, they got him right out of there. Then like after the game, it was funny. IT was saying like he don't want he tired of being traded. He don't want to be traded no more. Like even though it didn't start the way he wanted to start off, but he wants to stay here and everything. So that made that when he said that, then Kim turn around getting traded, it made it even that much more depressing, man. Like
his situation has dramatically changed because it's like, when he got hurt with Boston and they do the trade, it's like, oh, it looks like he landed in a good spot here. But now, the Lakers ain't looking to max somebody like him. They think they're major players for some of these other guys like Bron and Paul George. So kind of leaves IT on the outside looking in, still shopping for a team after this year.
Yeah, man. And teams ain't gonna have salary cap money like everybody thought it was gonna have. So it's gonna be slim pickings. They ain't gonna be backing up the Brinks truck like he thought he was, man.
Nah, that was a little premature, and it's almost seeming like. I hate to say it, but it's like, was that a fluke? Was that a fluke year? He played well, but it's like, was that an outlier at this point, or was it a result of Brad Stevens' system? Now obviously he got hurt, so that changes a lot of things. But I don't think Danny Ainge and probably most GMs felt comfortable giving him such a large amount for such a small guy that's kind of one-dimensional as far as the offense to defense ratio. Big money, but I don't think he was ever a max player. Obviously, he's confident, but I don't think Ainge ever had an intention on that.
Yeah, man. Like, because all last year, even though he was like, was like 4th or 5th in MVP voting, the ones that kept jumping up, he was like dead last or next to last, like defensive, like plus minus, whatever.
Yeah.
Like the whole year, like the worst defensive player in the league. And you can't build it's damn near impossible to build your team around somebody like that. That's that one dimensional. You gotta keep finding a way to kind of hide him on defense. And then you get locked in for 5 years with someone like that getting on max money. You find out the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy that he ended up with the Lakers of all teams, man. And then I heard he was like he wasn't trying to come off the bench, and like his agent was like pissed or whatever. They weren't trying to he didn't want to come off the bench, but I guess because Lonzo hurt, he gonna start until Lonzo comes. So it was like crazy, like reading and following everything that's gonna happen.
Yeah, it kind of works out with him with Ball being out, but right, that ain't it's not gonna fly once he comes back.
Yeah, man.
You keep getting the feeling that Magic is gonna trade Ball before his rookie contract is up. I mean, I can't prove it. I just get that feeling.
I don't think Lonzo going anywhere. Like if any of their young guys will end up staying, I think it'll end up being him. And I think that's probably why the best thing about this trade when it worked out. They was able to clear the cap space. They can get almost up to $70 million in cap space if they don't re-sign Julius Randle and they give Lou Deng the stretch provision. They can sign 2 max guys and still keep all that young guys, like the Brandon Ingram, the Lonzo Balls, and the Kyle Kuzmas and the Jason Hart. So this is like the best case scenario for them. So even if they don't end up signing anybody, they still got their young guys. They can try to get back in 2019 when like Kawhi Leonard and Klay Thompson and Jimmy Butler, the free agents that year. So either way, like if it don't work out and they fall flat in their face in the summer, Magic still come right back and kind of sell them on in 2019. If that don't work out, they still got their young guys. And that's what I think they should do anyway. Like, they shouldn't try to force, bringing in the big names, man. Their young guys are doing all right. They try to build around them, but I mean, it's LA. You got to bring the big names in, man. I guess that's what it is.
Definitely. But Yeah, I mean, even with, let's say, even if the Lakers were able to get two marquee names, George, LeBron, that still ain't enough. I don't think. I mean, obviously you got Kuzma with them, but I just think, at LeBron's age and the type of player George is or whoever else they would get, I just don't think it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 pieces and boom, the Lakers are back to Showtime. I think I just don't think that's the case.
Yeah, it definitely been interesting, but it's like the funny thing is like it's Kuzma and Brandon Ingram. They basically 3-4s, like basically threes, basically 3-4s, and that's pretty much what LeBron and Paul George is, like 3-4s. Paul George can play the two,
Yeah,
but it's a lot of overlap there, like with those star guys and with their young guys. So they probably still had to make another move just to kind of, I guess, like free things up.
yeah,
And they still need a big man. They would probably need a big man for rim protection, those types of things. But I think at the end of the day, if it's me, it ain't my money. But if it was me,
right.
I'd run with the young guys and kind of use that cap flexibility to try to like keep that space open and kind of get more assets and like use that cap space and maybe take somebody else's dead money and pick up an extra draft pick off of like they did with this trade too, because they got Cleveland's first round pick and kind of keep building.
I think it's protected, but yeah, it's still first round pick. So
yeah, I don't think it's like heavily protected where they's like definitely not going to get it. And this thing is like a
it's not like the Cavs going to be in the lottery soon.
Yeah, exactly. Not at least not this year. Yeah,
not this year. No.
Yeah, it would take something crazy, but I mean, shit, the way the season's been, man, been nothing but a bunch of crazy stuff going on all season. So nothing to surprise me at this point.
Yeah, because I think at one point they were considering going after Cousins, but obviously he's out of commission for a while. So,
and then I was like, listen to Zach Lowe's podcast. He was talking to Brian Windhorst. He was talking about how the Clippers like really thought they had a deal to move DeAndre Jordan to Cleveland, like all up and throughout the day. But then like Cleveland like used part of the assets they was gonna use in the DeAndre Jordan deal to eventually get the Clarkson and Nance from the Lakers eventually. So that's kind of how that stuff fell apart. But they was trying to make moves regardless. They was gonna do something before the day ended.
Yeah, there were only a handful of active teams this time. Although most of the time, there's really not too many trade deadline deals. It's usually summertime deals. So
yeah, because like especially when you're talking about like draft picks, like first rounders, I think teams want to know exactly actually where they're gonna be picking instead of trying to like guess. And then like the closer you get to the draft, at the season of like already. So then you kind of can deal a little bit with a little bit more information. And speaking of draft picks and trades, like you heard about the whole Tyree Evans thing with Memphis, right?
I remember he was on the block, and his name kept coming up the last like week or two.
Yeah, so like Memphis was definitely trying to move, and they shut him down and everything. Like he hadn't played like the past like 6 or 7 games and everything, so they like definitely knew they was gonna move him. Yeah. But that thing was they wanted to definitely get a first round pick back.
Yeah, see, that's not gonna happen, man.
Yeah, nobody's gonna give you a first round pick just for like 30 games of somebody who you're not gonna have his bird rights. So that means like if you're gonna sign him, you gotta use whatever cap space, if you have cap space left, to resign him. And if he's going to a contending team, more likely probably not gonna have any cap space. Right. And then like, as I heard, like Denver was trying to get him, they basically told Memphis like, look, you can even have like Moutier in the second round, or you can have a couple second rounders. Like take your pick. Like this is like on the table, and they still like shot that down. Like the Sixers was trying to get him, they shot the Sixers down. I mean the Celtics, everybody, because they wanted that first round pick. Now they're gonna end up keeping him on the roster. Somebody was trying to trade. Yeah, he's definitely going to leave because he's going to get paid next year. He's going to be one of the few people probably next year.
Yeah. They got greedy, kind of like the way Danny Ainge often is. Like they got greedy. Like at this point of his career, and like you said, with 30 games left, Teams they're not going to risk a first round pick for a 30-game rental. You know, especially at this point in his career, it just wasn't going to happen. So yeah, when I heard his name come up with the Sixers, I'm like, don't give up any of these assets for short term. You know, roll with what you have. And although I can't explain what the heck is going on with our rookie and why they won't play him, I really don't understand that part. But that's another topic.
Oh, but then we can get into it. Like, and we kind of touched on it last week, man. Like, his shot ain't right. And what it seems that, like, it's saying everybody doesn't know, they never say anything like this happened from what I've been reading. But it's like, whatever, however he got the shoulder injury, whether he tried to adjust his shot and got the shoulder injury, or he hurt his shoulder and then tried to shot afterwards.
Right.
Like, he has to regain his muscle memory.
So then they should just say that, though. Like, it's like, there obviously was a significant injury. They downplayed it. And like you're saying, you know, the chicken or the egg, either altered the shot and hurt it, or hurt it and altered the shot. Obviously, he's got to get his mechanics back together. So if you got to get your mechanics back together, then most likely your shoulder wasn't okay when you said it was. They should have just been straight up, you know, with it. But I guess they didn't want to get the reputation of another injured player or you tank it again. But either way, it looks bad now. It looks worse, actually, now.
And that's why it was a bunch of BS, like, from the beginning. Like, I'm not going to consider myself like a Sam Hickey stan or anything like that. But, you know, it was BS, man. Like, because Brian Colangelo was turning right around, doing the same thing, if not worse, in terms of, like, you know, giving off information, you know, letting everybody know, being up front what was actually going on with the organization, with the players in the organization. It's the same thing. So he's looking even stupid. And, like, if they would have ended up made that Tyreke Evans trade, that would have had Colangelo written all over it, man. Like, you know, paying off for the short term, man.
Yep. Yeah,
like them, just ride it out. You know what I mean? They made the playoffs at best. Just ride it up and see what happens.
Yeah. They're already ahead of Detroit right now, you know, 2 games above 500. So it's like, if you can hang in there, hover, you know, there's not much that separates 4th seed through 8th seed, you know, in the league. So, I mean, the Eastern Conference. So, and we have supposedly, you know, the easiest remaining schedule in the league because we got all our hard games out the way. You know, we played Boston a bunch of times already, Warriors, the Rockets. So, you know, if anybody gonna make a run, it would be time to do it, especially if they're actually gonna be using Embiid in back-to-back games and whatnot. You got to run through these teams that you're supposed to beat. You know, if you can win about 2/3 of those games, 2/3 to 3/4 of them games, you know, you can finish pretty nicely. If you only win half of them, you're probably going to be around 8. If you win a little more than half, you could be probably 7th or 8th, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, and I mean they got out to a good start tonight. They look like they handed the Pelicans their ass right tonight.
Yeah.
They was in control the whole game.
Yeah, it was wire to wire tonight. And you're supposed to. I mean, at this point, the Pelicans are in bad shape, so you better beat them. You know, they got to win the games that they're supposed to win. They kind of gave up a few earlier last month where it looked like they were about to start pulling ahead. Then they lost a couple dumb games. Now, Redick was out. You know, of course, Embiid didn't play every game. And, you know, Bayless is only going to give you but so much. So, like you said, they can just ride it out with who they have. They still can make the playoffs. It would have been nice to have Fultz there as another shooting option, because it shows those games where they struggle in the third quarters because they don't have that other shooting option. When
I'm going to say that, like, these are exactly what they need. Like, they already had whenever.
Yeah, and I kind of got this theory, like, amongst the existing team, you know, outside of relying on Embiid, typically you either need Redick, Covington, or Saric to have a good game, preferably 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
So if only one or none of them have a decent game, that pretty much dictates how, you know, if we're gonna win the game or not. Because usually at least 2 of those guys got to produce for this team to win. You know, outside of Embiid and Simmons.
Yeah, with them, it's basically the 3-point shots fall, and they can, you know, somehow be, instead of being awful, turn the ball over, they can be like somewhat mediocre and turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Because, like, you look at tonight, They shot 41% from three, hit 14 out of 34 threes a night, and they still turned the ball over 16 times. So they still turned the ball over a lot, but it wasn't as awful as it been most nights.
Yeah.
They had a good. They made a good number of their threes, so it kind of offset that, kind of canceled out. They end up winning by double figures. So that's kind of how it has to be for them, like from here on out. Kind of got hit off some of the turnovers and hit enough threes where would open up the paint for Ben Simmons and for Joel Embiid, make it easier for
him. Yeah.
But I mean, shoot, I mean the Pelicans. I mean, all in all, getting Mirotic from the Bulls, I mean, that's the best they probably could have done. That's like the best case scenario for them. After losing Cousins, getting somebody who can actually play next to Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
and space the floor. You can give Anthony Davis room to operate. He's not the playmaker that Boogie is and the rebounder that Boogie is, but he gives them something that still make him somewhat competitive. But like missing Boogie, man, that's a huge loss, man.
Yeah.
But all that is a moot point because they end up making the playoffs. They're probably not playing like Houston in the first round anyway, and then probably be a 4 or 5 game series anyway. But if they play like San Antonio, then that'd have been a different story. And that's what I think. Like, Pop, that's what Pop makes his money in the regular season. Nah, I mean, he takes some Gorilla Glue and duct tape and kind of make things work. And they end up getting like, the second or third seed. You don't know why they got the second or third seed. But I think this year, if they don't ever get Quad back, man, they ain't making it out of the first round.
Yeah. It's a different year for them.
Yeah.
This ain't that automatic 60 wins and you just roll type of team. And really, R.C. Buford has done a great job over the period of this whole Spurs run going back to, when they first got Duncan. But I think they've kind of fallen off with this strategy the last few years. Like when you look at the actual roster they have, like it's like you're trying to catch it's like you kind of overplayed your house money. Obviously Ginobili can still play at this age, but you can't bank on that to overachieve with him. And of course, Parker's pretty much done at this point. But it's like, the Rudy Gays and Harris, I don't think they have the right mix of roster for that type of team. Now, obviously, they were expecting to have Kawhi, but outside of that, in other years, they would miss one of their big three or several of them and be fine because the other pieces were there, like a Boris Diaw and other people. But I don't think they had the right mix of roster anymore.
I actually disagree. I think all things considered, especially they've been good for so long, when they draft from usually at the bottom of the draft, bottom of the first round, second round, whatever. And the main reason for that success is the stability that they have, and they actually develop players. So if you look at like the kid DeJounte Murray, who's now starting in place of Tony Parker, like in the 2 years, and they developed he's developed like leaps and bounds, and he kind of fits to kind of how you want to have like your wing player or your like a backcourt player in the league. He's long, he's athletic, he's quick, he can defend, developing a shot he can shoot. And the same thing, like some of the guys that's not even there no more, like a Jonathan Simmons.
I was definitely thinking Simmons.
Or Dwayne Dedman. And they constantly do that. Like now they got Davis Bertans. Who else they got? A couple other guys. There's one other guy. You got the kid Anderson. You got like they actually developed their young guys, like as opposed to other teams, because it was one of the first teams that actually had like direct affiliate with the G League. So some of the guys, when they don't get the minutes, on the main team, on a big league team, they actually sit down there and they actually running the same stuff that the Spurs, when they go down to Austin, they running the same stuff that San Antonio was running. The same system, everything is the same. So when they bring them back up, it's an easy transition, and they back and forth. So when it's time for them to kind of fill in, that's what the other thing where Pop is good at. He plays a lot of people during the regular season, kind of throws people in the fire, and they figure out what they got. So they're able to kind of transition. That's why they can kind of pull back Ginobili's minutes, or like when Duncan was still there, they was like to pull back Duncan's minutes and Tony Parker's minutes, let the young guys play to kind of save the old heads, you know, for the postseason. But I think this year is like Mr. Kawhi. I think that's just too big of a hole to miss.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he does so much, like because of what he does, like he's basically like Deion Sanders on the defensive end. Like whoever he's defending, you pretty much can just X him out almost. And then he turns right around the offensive end, still give you like 25, like 7 and 5 with a couple steals, you know, here and there. And he does it efficiently.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
But I just think like this year's like the 1 year that probably like they'll catch up to him in the postseason. And then like Houston and Golden State is so much better than everybody else this year.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking it will make a difference, even if Kawhi was still there. Maybe some of a difference, but just like you see the gap between those two teams and everybody else. Maybe Toronto, and I think Boston a little bit, but Boston they really can't score enough to keep up with those teams. Toronto got like they probably the deepest team, probably the most. I heard a lot of people say like the most complete team. From when I've seen them play, like you can see it. You see the difference. They move the ball around. They share the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
The Rose threes now.
Yeah,
like they're like everything that you need. So it's a lot different than look the past couple of years. But it's like with them, like clockwork, when the postseason come around, Rosen start to struggle, Lowry start to struggle, they start to struggle. So something's like you gotta believe it when you said type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they got that hurdle. They gotta get through that, you know, either Cavs or Celtics. Like they gotta get through one of those two teams if they're gonna you know, get to the finals. This might be a good time to try that run because, you know, the Cavs are vulnerable. Obviously, the Celtics aren't at full, you know, like you said, they have scoring issues. This probably be the best time for them to try it, you know, because it'll be back next year, and you know, you gotta strike when it's time.
Yeah, man, I might have taken something back too that I said last week. When we were talking about the Wizards, and I thought like they were like trolling everybody else.
Yeah.
No, I think they really don't like John Wall. Yo, man, like I ain't see that coming, man. He's basically calling him up, man.
I saw I don't know, was it Gortat? Somebody posted again, like was it yesterday or somebody recently posted one of those good team win type things, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, with Wall being out, and like I said before, I just don't think they could get done with those guys together. You know, Bill and Wall are very good players. But that team needs something. Like, I almost feel like that team needs, you know, that Ibaka or Perkins type guy. Like, they need that bruiser, that enforcer to bring that physicality to that team. I feel like they're more of a finesse team than physical, and I kind of just feel like that's the type of thing that they're missing. They have their shooters, although Wall always gets tired. They don't have a good bench, but I feel like they need that physical guy. I mean, I know they have Morris, but I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. Of any team that's going to go after DeAndre Jordan, I think it'd have been a perfect fit. But if it cost them like giving up Kelly Oubre to get him, I wouldn't do it because everything like the way he's developing, everything he kind of does, he kind of fills in the gaps for him. Like he comes off the bench like the one player that can ride off the bench. Like he can guard ones, 2, 3s, even some 4s.
Yeah. And he shoots better than DeAndre, so
yeah, he shoots a lot better from the corner, especially from the corner 3, and he's good at cutting off the ball too. But like DeAndre is like I think because he's younger than Gortat, I think it'd been a perfect like pick and roll partner with John Wall, and he'd be able to protect the rim a lot better than Gortat. Even though Gortat's pretty good, I think DeAndre would have been like the perfect fit for him. But I mean, it didn't happen, obviously. And then it's not like they can go right in the offseason sign anybody because they're paying Wall so much money, Bill so much money, and Porter so much money. Yeah. And then they had to turn around in a couple years try to play Oubre if they want to keep him. So, I mean, they ain't got the money to make too many changes. They kind of stuck with what they got. Let's say they decide like it's really not working and break them up. But I don't know where you would start with that.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in a tough spot. It's like with all that money they're spending, they better figure something out fast.
Yeah. Like you said, like the window is kind of like open right now, so they're going to do anything. It's like with like this year, the next like 1 or 2 years, it's like when they have to make that move. But you probably consider of like probably like 10 other teams. You probably consider the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And then like this year, like when Golden State, I'm curious to think like how it might end up come playoff time with Golden State. Like it's like the 4 years going to like catch up to them. I mean, they're top four players. Like man, you got four players who like arguably probably like top 15, top 20 players.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, shit, that's a lot. They can carry anywhere, but it's like was Iggy and like Sean Livingston and like David West and like Swaggy P,
What?
Nick
Well, I
all
think
them.
West contract is up, but yeah, obviously Iggy and Livingston still got a couple years, so they're gonna definitely flip one or two of those guys if they
But I'm
want to
talking
stay.
about in terms of them actually performing on the court.
Oh, okay.
Like they're already starting to. It looks like right now they maybe starting to taper off now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the regular season's a long regular season. It might just be a situation where it's like, man, let's get to the All-Star break. We come back, at that week off, kind of rejuvenate, hit the reset button, and then make that run.
Yeah.
And when the postseason comes, they shorten the rotation, it'd be a different story. But like, if anything that could make them vulnerable, it'd be like the others, like outside of that top four, the others, like
Yeah.
if they really, can contribute and kind of solidify the team when the others are off the floor. Like, because they always keep like 2 on the floor anyway at all times.
Mm-hmm.
How it's going to be when those other two guys are off the floor on postseason.
Yeah, especially when you're going against like the Rockets or somebody.
Yeah, and all the Rockets need, man, they all they need is one game where they hit like 20 or 50 pointers, man, and win again. They had no business winning.
Yeah, just steal one of them, son.
Yeah, and turn the season completely around, or series completely around. But in the day, like all that is just, it is what it is. I still don't see how anybody feasibly can win 4 games out of 7 against the Warriors.
Yeah, no, not right now. Like you said, when you got Durant and Curry on the same team, and they're both still fairly young and healthy, it's tough. I mean, I was kind of looking over just the history books, and from the time period we grew up watching in the 80s and 90s, there was only a couple teams that went to 3 consecutive finals, and now if you get to 4 consecutive finals, something's the wheels tend to wear off eventually with teams that have very long seasons, several years in a row. Like you saw happen with the Pistons and Celtics, and the Celtics in the late '80s going towards 90, and obviously with the Pistons going to three straight. I'd be curious to see if they could get to 4 straight or 5 straight. That's kind of unprecedented. Obviously Miami did the thing, but that don't usually happen too much.
No, not at all. Especially because it's like nowadays, there's so much talent in the league now. Like even though like from time to time you got teams out there that's tanking, not really winning, but it's hard. Like if you take a night off and try to you're going to lose, man, because that much talent in the league. Like you go from teams that's like at the bottom of the standings. If you plan on a road, you're not ready to play, or you trying to rest a couple guys. You could catch an L real easy. It's not like how it was like back in the '90s, man.
Yeah.
With expansion and everything like that. Like the league was like so diluted in terms of talent. Like now things are kind of tapered off. It's a lot of talent throughout the team. Like a lot of it's young talent.
Yeah.
The better teams that usually have the more experienced talent. That's the reason why they're at where they're at. But still, talent's talent, man. And that's probably part of the reason why I kind of transition. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Forbes put out the NBA team valuations.
Yeah.
And all 30 teams are worth like $1 billion or more.
Yeah, that's remarkable. In this day and age, And then I kept looking like, how in the world are the Knicks still number one? I mean, are they number one? But obviously, it's New York City, and
Yeah.
it's more off the brand than the actual team, team they have on the floor.
And then
But
factor
nonetheless,
in
yeah,
like when you buy the Knicks, you also
right,
got the MSG network and everything, and
right,
guard and everything. So you buying you getting all of that.
right.
So it's like the Knicks and everything that comes with that. It's like the same thing with the Lakers. Like the Lakers, you got the Lakers, that brand.
Yeah,
It's Los Angeles.
yeah.
But then you signed with with like a $2 billion something deal with Time Warner, the
Okay,
broadcasting games and like other stuff.
okay.
So it's like a package come along with it. And it makes sense like the Warriors are number 3, they over 3 billion.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
looked at my Sixers. They're about 16th right now, but considering where they were, they're climbing pretty good. And if they can win, you make the playoffs this year, and as I'm projecting them to make the Eastern Conference Finals next year, I think their valuation probably get even higher. Yeah. So oh, it's gonna happen, man. Look at the landscape of the East. You know, they can overtake a team like the Wizards by next year, really this year.
I don't know,
So
man.
you'd have Toronto, Cleveland, and Boston, but Cleveland won't be who they are next year. So that means you really be going with it with Toronto and Boston. And assuming that Fultz does come back, having an Embiid, Simmons, Fultz, and we still have a lot of money to sign a decent free agent or two. Yeah, I think Eastern Conference Finals would be the next step. Like, I don't think they need to do these baby steps of make the playoffs as an eighth seed, maybe get a playoff series win next year. Now I'm saying you make that jump next year because that window's going to crack open, and you got to take it now. So that's just my projection for next year is a Eastern Conference
You
Finals with the
definitely
Sixers next.
bias. Definitely the bias. And you it's like the pretty girl that lived in like Wilmington all her life. She's a pretty girl in Wilmington. And she get up and she moved to LA. And she ain't a pretty girl no more. She's just like one of everything else. Like them making it to the playoffs is one thing. But then you talk about them making the Eastern Conference Finals, that's a big leap.
It's all about matchups, man. Just depending on who they match up with next year. I'm
But they
obviously
got a
including somebody. I'm including somebody that's not on the roster yet. It's going to be a big name, or at least a middle. It's going to be like a middle to maybe second tier player that they're going to sign this off season. Because guys are going to start figuring out, hey, this guy Simmons distributing the ball, Embiid is a beast. I can fit my part in here, still get my production, have a chance to take a crack at one of these other teams. That's how it's going to happen.
Yeah, but Simmons still can't shoot, man. Like I'm pulling for the Sixers.
He's starting to make a little bit further outside. By next season, he'll be shooting a little better.
I give it to him. He's figured out how to still be effective in the offensive end and get his buckets without having a jump shot. Like he don't shoot threes at all. Like he don't even try it. Like
he only took like 1 3-pointer this whole season.
He's not going to shoot it. Like, okay, this year he may get away with it. They make it to the playoffs. He's going to get exposed. So if he don't figure it out come next year, like the book will be out on him. So like that's the first thing. Like he has to be able to shoot first.
Yeah.
Secondly, they got to get Markelle Fultz in the game next. And then from there, you can start talking like, okay, maybe they can win a series. Maybe one. And maybe get somebody scared in the second round. And then maybe the year after that, they can do the same thing, maybe even push it and then possibly get to you. Talking about like 2-3 years realistically. If we go back in the history books, how things happen.
Yeah, I mean, that usually is the projection. I mean, the progression of 4
now,
years.
if they get LeBron or somebody, then that speed up the whole process, so to speak. No pun intended.
Right.
Like I think people still think that might be a possibility.
I mean, it technically is. I mean, obviously, nobody, mainstream media is not going to put it out there, but it is technically a possibility. Him and Ben Simmons, I believe, had the same agent, but if not, they're pretty close. So it's like, depending on where he is at that point in his career, if he don't have to put in too much energy like he has been doing, it could be. Obviously Houston and LA are the two top ones, but hey, we could be right number 3, maybe.
Do you know how unbearable y'all Philly fans would be? Something like that happen. Like y'all Eagles just won a chip. They come back in the summer of this year. They them sign LeBron or something like that. Like I would have then officially moved, man, because I wouldn't be able to take it no more.
It would be fitting, man. We've toiled through. We had that one AI year going to the finals, but outside of that, it's been pretty dry. It's been pretty dry. The process is working, but it's been pretty dry. So if something like that happened, man, we deserve this, man. We overdue. We collecting our
Man,
interest now.
Like we can't get off like, y'all not having no chip jokes no more, man.
Yeah, that's got to go.
That's done. Man, if y'all end up getting some, like, nah, man, that'd be too much. That's too much. God got a sense of humor, but ain't not a sense of humor like that, man.
Sometimes the stars align, man. I can dream. I can hope, man.
All right. Speaking of stars aligning, probably touch on this real quick. All-Star Saturday night. I'm gonna throw a question out there to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, when's like the last All-Star Saturday night you actually probably sat down and watched? Like me, I'm a junkie, so I still watch it or whatever. When was the last Saturday night that you actually like made it an appointment viewing and watched?
It's been years. It's been years. I mean, part of it is because I got rid of cable a while ago. But even outside of that, I can't even remember the last All-Star weekend that I really watched. Especially the Saturday stuff. The Sunday stuff, I've still kind of keep up on the game, but it's probably been at least 5-7 years, maybe a little more. Like I don't know. It's just I think part of it for me. I think part of it for me is getting older. The other part I think for me is kind of like I mentioned last week. I don't really have the same connection to a lot of these players as I used to follow everybody, and I knew everybody's stats and this many people on this team. But now, like I've heard of a Greg Monroe. I don't really know what he does. Even with like the dunk contest and stuff, it's fine. The little Zach LaVine and the stuff. I don't know. It just lost its luster with me. But I can't really say that All-Star games have been exciting for a long time. I mean, I used to watch the Pro Bowl every year back when the NFC had won like 12 or 14 consecutive Super Bowls until Denver stopped. I used to watch the Pro Bowl every year, and then at some point, it just stopped being good.
Yo, I never watched the Pro Bowl, dog.
I used to watch it when I was younger. I did. I used to watch it.
Absolutely no desire to watch a Pro Bowl, man. I don't know why. Like, I never took the time to kind of check for it or stuff like that. It's like it had zero interest on my radar, man. And I know I'm washed right now, but I still try to, keep up with things time to time because that's what interests me, man.
Yeah.
But you make me feel not that bad, man. I didn't realize your level of washness right now, man.
Well, yeah, that's back when the starters, like playoff teams and Super Bowl winners, would actually still play because it was after the season. So I would still watch it, But I haven't really been keeping up with anybody's All-Star games in years. Like the only thing I really pay attention to is if somebody gets it because it's more like a notch on the belt. But the game itself, I couldn't care less. Whether it be the night before with the rookies versus sophomores or the Legends game. I think part of it maybe for the NBA is that they tried to make it more appealing to mainstream, and to me it kind of diluted the game. Like it used to just be 3-point shootout, dunk contest.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you have the game, but now you got the legends with the celebrities. And then of course you got the rising stars against the world and all this stuff. And I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me anymore. So, so with this All-Star thing, yeah, to me, especially now, the way they do the voting and they get to pick each other's team, like, I don't know, it just doesn't have the prestige to me that it once carried. But I think, again, that's because I'm older, so.
Damn, dog. He's about to just put a tear to my eye, man. And so I could probably run off a bunch of names with the dunk contest, 3-point contest. You'd be like, yeah, nope.
Pretty much. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, this year, like, if because I remember hearing who got invited. I don't know who confirmed, but I would watch like a Dennis Smith Jr. I would watch him dunk because I think he's an amazing athlete. Like, his hops are ridiculous. I would watch a guy like that.
And the kid Donovan Mitchell in Utah.
Oh yeah, he's another one too. He dunks hard. He dunks hard, man.
It should make it crazy and interesting. Like Larry Nance Jr., he's in it too.
Is he? Okay.
He's in it, yeah. So I mean, it was cool because he was still with the Lakers and he was in LA. Yeah. But I think it's even cooler now. And I think who was said? I think it was Tracy McGrady or somebody said it. Then he plays for Cleveland, and his pops.
Yeah, exactly.
Cleveland, in his jersey, whatever. Like he has to include his pops in it some kind of way, man.
Yeah, that would be pretty hot.
I think that would probably be the dopest. If that happens, he's going to win it.
That would be, that would be pretty decent if he breaks out some type of tribute or involves his pops. That would be pretty decent. And speaking of T-Mac, I was seeing somewhere where people were lobbying to try to get the Kings to let Vince Carter go so he can sign with the Raptors.
Raptors, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I think Vince need to be in the playoffs, man. I think Toronto's best place for him.
That would be a perfect fit. I mean, 40-something years old, you're a mentor, you done paid your dues. That'd be a nice that'd be a nice chance for him, I'd say, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't think he's retiring anytime soon either, man. I think
he's in great physical shape, man. Like Tom Brady up in this thing, man.
Yeah, man.
And the fact that he's had injuries, but he's still in good shape, so that's remarkable.
All right, so we kind of ran through that real quick. I'm gonna touch on a couple quick things real quick, and let me kind of tie it up. So first thing, like we still on basketball, trying to put a bow on the whole basketball thing real quick. Like I got my hot fire tape of the week of the podcast. I ain't got no sound effects of my sound effect. The hot fire. Hot fire. Hot fire. Spit hot fire. So Andrew Wiggins is the Can't Run of basketball.
Oh. Oh man.
Can't Run is always say like only rap because I'm nice.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at Andrew Wiggins, man. I think the only reason why he plays basketball because he's nice. Because he's athletic. Now his pops played in the league, his mom was a world-class athlete or whatever. Like I don't really think he's having a good game tonight. I mean, he's playing the Bulls though, so it don't really matter. Overall, he's had a pretty decent season. And that's probably mostly because he gets kind of fade in the background, with Jimmy Butler there, and then he got Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
But I think overall, like, he's never going to be that cat, man, that you want to he want to be your main guy. Like, he's like your main guy you build a team around.
The way you just described him reminds me of Sharif Abdul-Rahim, man.
Yeah, but I think with Sharif though, like he got stuck with some awful teams, man.
He did. But he was like never that take charge dude that's gonna be like the guy for your franchise. Now, granted, it was the Grizzlies, but I feel like in his prime years, he could have been a great number 2 on somebody's other team and actually applied it to like winning. But he was kind of stuck in a bad situation.
Yeah, he was like forced to be a number 1 when he wasn't number 1 on some bad team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Wiggins ain't no number 1.
Then when he finally got on a good team with Sacramento, like he was pretty much done after that. Like I think he got hurt or something.
He was done. That's the way it goes with some of these cats in basketball, man.
Timing,
but going back to what you're saying, those were the expansion years, so he kind of he was kind of like a casualty of the expansion years where he could have probably been on a real team. But if he was on the Raptors or the Grizzlies back then, it was just like you were just stuck, man.
Yeah, man. like in no man's land. Nobody saw you play. Then he went from the Grizzlies to the Hawks, where like unless you lived in Atlanta, people in Atlanta didn't even the Hawks back then.
All right.
So you just forgot about him.
Yep. Like he's definitely a forgotten player. Like if you mention his name to most people, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. And the reason why he always sticks out to me because, like in my opinion, like the greatest, like let's probably talk about this for another day. The greatest high school, like the McDonald's All-American game that I think I remember seeing, like the '95.
He was in the '95 with KG.
KG, Vince, Chauncey, Steph, Paul Pierce. Yeah, Tractor Trailer. You know what I mean? You had who else you had? Like it was so I remember all man. Antoine Jameson.
Okay. To
me, that was probably the greatest collection like talent like on the floor at once. I've probably seen in my lifetime. At least the last years.
That's pretty tight. That is pretty tight.
All right, man. So I don't know. Do you want to give you a little like 2 cents about this whole the Quincy Jones articles, man? It's probably specifically the Vulture one, man.
Man, I was I'm always perusing on Twitter, so I see his name pop up, and I started seeing some quotes, and I'm like, nah, he ain't really say this stuff. I went back and read the whole interview, and I'm like, yo, this is wild. And then, especially when he got to like the Richard Pryor, the whole Marlon Brando thing, Richard Pryor and Marvin Gaye, cats like that, and then Richard Pryor's widow come out and said, "Yeah, that's true." That just blew my mind right there, man.
You take a couple Quaaludes, man. I mean,
she's like, it was just the '70s. I'm like, yo, that's some wild stuff. Remember, people used to always talk about Quincy Jones before.
Yeah.
Will Smith, 6 Degrees Separation, and all that stuff. It like all fits in. The puzzle pieces all fit now, man.
Yeah. And people used to be that rumor with like Quincy Jones and Tevin Campbell or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it was like all this crazy stuff, man. But none of this stuff is a surprise if we being real, man.
No, like, it was like, I don't think it's surprising. And I just think it's wild that it's out there like now. Like all of a sudden he just dumped everything. He just emptied the whole dumpster at once.
Because he don't care, man. He ain't got nothing to lose, man. He's 84, man. Right. And he even said it, man. Like, don't worry about dying, man. He's like, when you gone, you just gone. Ain't nothing else there. Right. He's like F it, man.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's I mean, that guy has lived through a lot of different experiences. He's worked with pretty much everybody in the game. I always think of Secret Garden, James. Yeah. That's always something that comes to mind when I think of Quincy Jones. Of course, Tevin Campbell too with the Tomorrow, but and of course Michael, which he really he ain't pulled no punches on Michael Jackson either.
He basically called Mike like MJ like the Drake of the '80s, man.
Yeah. yeah, that's pretty wild, man.
This is a good thing.
Like somebody was
look at it.
Like somebody was saying, most of the cats that he spilled the beads aren't here, so
yeah,
there's nothing to dispute his story. Although I don't think he has a reason to lie at this point.
Yeah,
I don't think he had a reason to lie. So I'm going with that being true. But that reminds me of 2 other things, because I'm like, of course, the industry always has secrets. But obviously, it's like interesting now because it's like, social media wasn't out back then. So it's like the stuff that we hear now probably don't even shine a light on what used to happen. It's just that we know about it. Same thing in sports. Like you hear the stories about Michael Jordan or Babe Ruth, but the media coverage was different. Those guys did stuff. All the reporters knew it, but it was always off the record. They just ain't talk about it. That started to change with Michael Jordan, which we was kind of talking about last week. He was like the first one to kind of transcend into this. It wasn't quite instant media yet with 24/7, but he was like starting to tap into that new age. And then now you got LeBron being the next one. But it's like those old throwback guys, Wilt Chamberlains and, guys in Hollywood and music. Back then, like your secrets stayed secret, and the press actually protected they
They
actually
dodged a
kept
bullet
it
quick
out.
time.
You know, they knew this stuff, but they honored that code. Where now everything's fair game.
Yeah, man. But I'm never surprised when they come out and say certain dudes with doo-doo chasers, man. So
Well, yeah. Or remember in like the late '90s, early 2000s, it was you're talking about the gay rappers, and they never quite dropped the list, or if they did, I didn't really hear about
yeah,
it. But
no,
they always said that there's a bunch of people you would never think, and it wasn't, and it was more to it than just being like a, they used to talk about like Diddy or somebody like that. Like I remember at one
yeah,
point, I think they were saying Q-Tip. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were saying there's a bunch of people that you would never even think about. That seemed like it kind of stayed under the wraps for the most part. But just the law of numbers tells you that it had to be somebody or somebody's.
like that's what like none of it was always rumors. I think it was like Wendy Williams or somebody. He's always talking about Russell Simmons and like Reverend Ron Simmons. You know what I mean? All them cats was out there like that too. But I mean, them dudes was doing dope back in the days, man. These was wild, and I was the '80s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what said. None of that stuff surprised me, man. Especially with them cats.
Yeah.
They was wild. Like, they're doing coke and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, and then nowadays, like everything is so open now. Like, I mean, it's plenty of cats out there that's is gay and rapping and stuff like that. None of that stuff, like, it don't even matter no more. All that stuff is like okay, what's the big deal? You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yeah, that actually
still
cut Tevin Campbell's career short. You got a Frank Ocean today.
Yeah,
Tevin Campbell couldn't. He had to keep that stuff down back in the day, but now he could have probably still been singing.
Mm-hmm. And
But,
the bricks, man. The game is the game, man. Them the bricks.
Yeah.
All right, man. So just like last week, we kind of close everything up. Got another pick'em scenario.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw 3 things out to you. You gotta pick one. So basketball, video games. It's a list. So you got Live, got 2K, and you got NBA Jam, like the arcade version.
Okay.
Which one would you pick?
I'm going with Live, man. I'm going with Live. Just to go over real quick, I remember when Electronic Arts first started with, I think they had Jordan versus Bird, but I caught on when it was Bulls versus Lakers. Then it went to Bulls versus Blazers. And then I thought it was going to be Bulls versus Sun, but they changed it to NBA Showdown. But when Live 95 came out and I had that Sega Genesis, man, that changed the game for me, man. They even had that camera angle at a tilt, the tilted court, right?
Yo, that camera angle was like, that was.
And I used to run with the Lakers, man. Like Nick Van Exel, that was my dude on NBA Live 95. I would just run nut the quick, and I would pull up. I would pull up from like half court and just start draining threes. Him and Sadal 3.
Yep.
Live 95, like that made that and Madden. That was like sports for me on the video games.
Yeah, man. Like that Live 95, definitely for me. Like I was thinking, I was kind of going through it myself. I think the same thing with you. I go with NBA Live because I like NBA Jam, but I can never really like get into it like that, man.
Yeah, like, it was more cartoonish. It was more like a novelty type thing.
Like, I mean, I love NBA 2K. Like I haven't really played it this year at all. But if it wasn't for NBA, it wasn't for like specifically Live 95. It wasn't for NBA Live. You wouldn't have the NBA 2Ks, man.
Exactly. That paved the way, man, for the gameplay. Now the one thing I used to hate were the slow motion dunks because it was easy for somebody to block your slow motion dunk.
Yeah.
But the gameplay was like starting to get a little more fluid, and of course, cats already had their signature moves from the past EA Sports one, but the gameplay changed on 95. Like it changed, and playing the season,
alley-oops and stuff, man. These
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was classic to me, man. That was classic.
And then they turned around, followed up with Coach K. Remember Coach K? It was just basically the same exact game, but with college teams.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So that's like I will always play with Maryland on Coach K, like that Maryland team, you know, the Joe Smith
Of
and
course.
Keith Wolf and all. But yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, so I guess that's a wrap. Another
Yeah,
episode of books. Now I mean
yeah,
maybe one day a homeboy will join us on a joint, but
yeah, yeah. We'll get that New York perspective coming soon, and you know, see what happens after the All-Star break.
yeah, we'll let him hop on. Let him go on a couple rant on his classic rants or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean again, as always, it was a pleasure, man. So we can do it again. All the
Appreciate
best to you, man.
appreciate being on, and you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how this postseason shapes out. You know, is it gonna be the same old, you know, with the Warriors, or somebody else gonna step up and knock them off? But yeah, we'll see how they finish down the stretch.
Yeah, definitely. Now, while we at it, real quick, you know, I mean, I don't know if cause you say you're on Twitter, like you want to shout out your Twitter handle, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm on Twitter, you know, at Temple Owl 02, and you know, of course, I follow Chat the Sports. You know, some social commentary, pretty much a little bit of everything here or there. But yeah, Temple Owl 02. Anybody want to chat with the basketball? Of course, I'll talk the football. You know, maybe a little politics too. But yeah, that's my thing. I definitely follow a lot of good people on there for their content, and you know, just helps me to get the news quicker, like these updates and things, as opposed to going on the Yahoo. You can catch
Yeah,
a Woj bomb or whatever. You know, I just like following to catch the news real quick for sports and you know, pretty much anything else. So I've been on there all week looking at these fan videos from the from the Super Bowl, from the parade, from the players, looking at different analyses of some of the plays that happened. You know, of course, the memes. So, and oh,
definitely.
that just reminds me of another thing. Can you imagine if they had the memes back in the day?
Yo, man.
There's a lot of material back in the day that would have been meme worthy.
Exactly, man.
But this, you know, this is the times we're in. So, but yeah, on that note, appreciate being on the cast, and you know, until we do it again.
All right, man. Talk to you later, homie.
All right, peace.
See you.